Mango. Mommy's filming. She's here to say hello. I love you. You know that? Gotta say goodbye for now. You go play over there. Well, Mommy talks to herself for an hour. Alright, so hey guys, it's Maddie and welcome to the first Q&A that I've done in literal years. I don't even remember the last time I did a Q&A. It was probably like 4 years ago at this point. And there's a lot more of you here as of lately, which is super cool. So I posted something on my Instagram story a couple days ago asking people to submit questions. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you missed out on asking questions this time around, but I'm sure I'll do another Q&A in a couple months. So be sure to follow me on the gram. What do you do for a living? Do you make money off of your YouTube and podcast, or do you do something else? I get this question a lot. I don't make any money off my podcast, and I make like a couple $100s off my YouTube channel every month, but that's it. I do have a full-time job, Monday through Friday, 9-to-5 job. I'm a video producer for Hero Cosmetics, which is an acne skincare company, which is really great that I have a pimple in the middle of my forehead right now because it just makes it easier for me to create content. How do I buy a vibrator without my parents knowing? This is a great question, and it also has a very easy answer. A lot of sex toy companies actually send their shit in very like discreet packaging, so you would have no idea what it was by looking at the box. Most of the time it looks like it's sent from a warehouse, so the return address is just listed as like some random product warehouse or like production center in fucking like Kentucky or Wisconsin or something. Bellesa is a great website for that. That's where I buy pretty much all of my sex toys. I've partnered with Bellesa a couple times. I love them. I love everything they stand for. I love all the work they do. So I super recommend buying from them, and their packaging is very, very discreet. So I actually ordered some sex toys from Bellesa as a Christmas present, and this is what the package looks like. So it's marked as being like from Containers Plus. What do you do on days where you don't feel super confident? How can I fix my terrible body image? I think that this was probably the most beneficial thing that I did for myself in my body image journey, and it's something that I do whenever I'm having a bad day. I don't talk badly about myself ever. There is no such thing as negative self-talk inside my brain. So if I wake up and I look in the mirror, I try on outfits, things just aren't fitting me right, I feel like it just doesn't look good, I'm getting frustrated, I'm trying on all these outfits, I'm throwing my clothes across the room, like when I'm having a day like that, it's very easy to want to sit there and be like, I'm horrible, I'm ugly, my body looks so bad, like nobody's ever gonna love me, and just like go like spiral on yourself. So when I wake up and start having a bad day like that, I will try to acknowledge that I'm having a bad day as soon as I realize it's happening. I try really hard to like honor my feelings and allow myself to be upset and like recognize the validity in how I feel, and being like, okay, I'm having a bad day and I'm allowed to have a bad day, but that doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't mean that I'm worthless or unlovable or that there's anything wrong with me. I'm just having a bad day, and I'm not like fucking superhuman. Like this is gonna happen every now and again, and all I can do as a reaction to that is be gentle and kind to myself and treat myself the same way that I would treat my little sister, the same way that I would treat one of you guys, the same way that I would talk to somebody else when they're having a bad day. That's how I try to talk to myself. I honor my feelings, I acknowledge them, and I look at the situation objectively. And instead of leaning into the negativity and spiraling and like just bombarding myself with negative thoughts, I acknowledge that there's two voices inside my head, and the bad voice is winning today, but that doesn't mean it's correct. I just have to look at what's happening, look at how I feel, figure out why I'm feeling the way that I feel, and then break it down. You know, like these feelings don't come out of nowhere. Like you weren't born hating yourself. I find that it's really helpful to try to pinpoint what set off that bad day and what are the things that I'm thinking about myself that are untrue. Where does it stem from? Why am I so worried about it? Sort of just try to dig more and like figure out the truth to what you're feeling rather than just letting the negativity be the truth, because most of the time the negativity like has no basis in reality. Acknowledge them, honor them, break them down, let yourself have a day of rest. Don't expect yourself to feel better after breaking them down. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad day, but I'm not gonna beat myself up for it, and I'm not going to let today bleed into tomorrow. What are your thoughts on porn and nudes in a relationship? Does it count as cheating? So I'll first hit on porn. Is watching porn cheating when you're in a relationship? No, I don't think so. I don't think that like watching porn is a big deal. I don't think that like following porn stars on social media is a big deal. I think that, I mean, fucking I do that. Like, lots of people like watching people do sexual things. It's fun. And you know what? I think porn is really fun to watch with your partner as well. Like, I don't think it has to be seen as some sort of betrayal to you. Obviously, there are more complicated and nuanced situations in relationships that maybe have to do with porn. But I think in general, no, it's totally fine to watch porn in a relationship, and I think that it's something that you guys can do together. Same with nudes as well. Like, I wouldn't have an issue if like the person that I was with subscribed to people's OnlyFans or followed a ton of porn stars. Or where it starts to get tricky is like if you're talking about the nudes of like an ex or of someone that they used to be involved with. In that case, that's fucked up. Watching porn and subscribing to people with OnlyFans and like paying attention to people who do sex work is one thing. And then you're dating someone and they have nudes from their ex saved in their phone and they're like masturbating to them and shit. Like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I think it is sort of a violation of trust to be saving nudes from exes. I think that's weird. And also to be still indulging in that desire when you're in a relationship and this is someone you know and have like a history with. Like, it just feels wrong. I don't know that I would classify it as cheating, but it's definitely something that you should not be doing. With all of that being said, I just want to emphasize here that the most important part of all of this is just that you have a conversation with your partner about boundaries and expectations in your relationship and you communicate all of what you're feeling. I think that like it's important to set boundaries and figure out what works for the both of you, but also it's equally as important to acknowledge when you are upset about something or feel weird about something, but you know deep down that it's not an actual issue and you're just insecure about it and it's something that you need to work on. I still think it's worth acknowledging in the relationship while you're going through that process of becoming okay with what this person does and not taking it personally. I think it's still important to express that and communicate throughout the growing process. So whether the solution is setting a boundary and making a rule within the relationship that neither of you are allowed to fucking watch porn or do whatever, or it's talking about it and admitting that you feel weird about it and trying to work on it and be better. So I can't tell you how to feel or what you should do in your relationship, but I can tell you that you're gonna have to communicate about it no matter what. And that's the most important part, baby. I hated this question, but I'm still gonna answer it. Why do you think you're single? Okay, so I'm gonna give you the easy answer first and then the hard and more complicated answer. The easy answer is because I want to be. I could have said yes to the last guy who asked me to be his girlfriend, but I didn't. I could have stuck around to the other guy who was like totally playing around with me and like wasting my fucking time. Maybe it would have evolved into something, but I didn't. I am not the type of person to like need anybody. I am completely self-sufficient and happy on my own. The idea of being in a relationship is just like the cherry on top, you know? It's just like a luxury to have someone to love, but I don't need you. I think because of that, I'm not the type of person to settle in even a minor way. Like, I would rather be single and happy and surrounded by people I love than with someone who checks 90% of my boxes but fails the final 10%. I would literally rather be single my whole entire life than date someone who doesn't give me what I give them. And I have a lot to give. I mean, like I said, I'm very self-sufficient. I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm worth. So I'm not looking for just anybody. I really have no interest in being in lots of relationships. Like, I just don't see the purpose in being in a relationship if it's not someone that really makes my life better in a long-term way and like adds something new to my life that other people don't. And that's not easy to find. I don't think that I'm gonna find a lot of people like that in my life. Like, I could never hop from one relationship to the next because there's just no chance of me finding two people back to back that check all my boxes like that. It just doesn't seem realistic. So let's say someone checks all of your boxes, whatever they may be, personality, physical traits, whatever. They check all your boxes. You think that they're great. But if they don't love you, if they don't see you for everything that you are, if they don't appreciate you, if they don't value you, if they don't communicate well, if they don't show up for you in the way you need them to, they do not check all of your boxes. So often we get wrapped up in like, oh, they're so funny and cute and they fucking paid for my dinner, fucking whatever, that you forget that like the big thing, the big picture here is that you're with someone who makes you feel seen and loved and held, and someone who really appreciates you rather than somebody who just like wants a person because they're afraid to be alone. Sorry. If you feel like things are always complicated, if things are never quite the way you want them to be, even though they check all your boxes, they don't check all your boxes. Make a big box. Make that box 50% of the box list. Like, it's, people overlook that part or think like, oh, it'll get better. Like, relationships evolve. And then it just like doesn't. Take it as a red flag too. This counts when people don't like you back. This counts when you're seeing someone and you feel like you're giving more effort than they are. This counts when you're seeing someone and they're constantly trying to change you and mold you into something you're not. This applies to everything. If someone doesn't love you, see you for who you are currently, value you, that is a red ass fucking flag, because the rest of us can see it and you can see it. So do not let people like that come close to you. If they're not as into me as I am to them, if they're not as communicative as I am to them, if they are not as enthralled with me as I am with myself, then like, fuck out of here, dude. Also, I will never in my life be the type of bitch that has to teach a man how to be a good person, teach a man how to communicate, teach a man how to be a grown adult. I will not be the one. You come at me ready for me or you don't come at me at all. I am not the one to be like the stepping stool bitch who turns you into your best self. No fucking way. You come at me ready or you don't come at me at all. So why am I single? I just have not met the right person. And that's always everybody's answer to this question. Sexiest cog on Toontown, easy. What's your experience been with Mango? What's her zodiac sign? A Mango update, what we all wanted. You watched the I adopted a kitten video, you know that she was super shy at first. She was definitely like a very anxious cat, and for the first couple months that I had her, she was very jumpy. She was warming up to me just fine. We were hanging out all the time. We were just like becoming besties. But like if I stood up too quickly or walked too fast or too close to her, she would immediately bolt and hide. If a friend came over, she would hide. She would bolt if the door closed too loudly. Like, she was just a very like scared cat. Over time, she's started growing out of that. She's not as anxious anymore. She's not anxious at all around me. She's getting there with other people. So like now when I have friends over, she won't hide. But she'll scope it out. She won't let a lot of people pet her or hold her. She will if like I initiate it, but she is like the most affectionate cat ever. She's so sweet. She's always like wanting to exist on top of me. We sleep right next to each other. Literally every night she comes and she snuggles right in and I hug her like a fucking teddy bear. Like, she's just the cutest fucking thing and I love her so much. If you follow me on Instagram, you're like, yeah, I know. The conversation of Mango's zodiac sign is complicated. So when I first adopted her, they basically told me she was a Gemini. And I was like, no. 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 Geminis are mean. On the paperwork that they gave me, they said that her birthday was June 1st. So then I was like, maybe that's fake. And they don't know when her real birthday is, so they just wrote June 1 because it was like easy to write. So then I was like, no, I'm deciding that she's a Cancer. She's too gushy and gooey to be a Gemini. So then I changed her birthday to June 22nd, and that's what I have it listed as now. But then I took her to go get spayed through the shelter, and in the paperwork they gave me upon discharge, it said that she was a Taurus. Her birthday changed to being like May 1st. So then I was like, oh, they really don't know what her birthday is. Because she was June 1st, now she's May 1st. I said she was June 22nd. So she might be a Taurus, Gemini, or Cancer, but I cannot stand the thought of her being a Gemini. I could tolerate her being a Taurus, but I would enjoy if she was a Cancer. And I just think that she's too mushy, gushy, and gooey to be anything else. Do you like missionary? What's your favorite position? Here's the thing about whenever I see missionary slander online, I'm like, so somebody's trying to be edgy today. Things are popular for a reason. It's popular because it's good, okay? The angle is just right. I'm laying there looking sexy. A vibrator in missionary? Dude, come on. As far as my favorite sex positions go, I've seen a couple different names for it, but I'm gonna call it the face-off. They're sitting like at the edge of your bed or like on a couch so that their knees are bent and they're like sitting up straight, and then you're on top of them and you're like face to face. Love that. That position to me is just A, easier than cowgirl. B, it feels better. Like the angle is just easier to get right in that position. So I love that one. Doggy also is fantastic, as we all know, but doggy is also easy to get wrong. See, like doggy for me is really great when somebody is like being slow and passionate and like really like taking their time with me. When somebody is like pounding the shit out of me in doggy, no. You are hitting my cervix over and over again, and I'm cramping up. Perhaps it is just the shape and depth of my vagina, but I feel like this is a common experience where people just go too fucking hard in doggy, okay? You are hitting my cervix, good sir. Shit hurts. So that's it for this video. If you missed out on sending questions for this time around, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Maddie Dragsbaek, and maybe I'll answer them the next time I do a question and answer video, whatever the fuck that's gonna be. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.